No. लेटर உங்களுக்கு எழுதுங்க எது விடாம ஸ்பெல் மிஸ்டேக் விடாம
Hello, everyone. We will wait for about 5 minutes for everyone to join, and then we will start. Hardeep sir, you can start your video and your presentation,
Okay,
please.
right. Hello,
Yes, sir.
ma'am. I am unable to share my screen.
I have made you the host. Can you please check again?
Okay, right. Is it visible? My screen is visible.
Yes, just a minute. Yes, it's visible.
Okay.
How about your video, sir? Are you going to keep it off?
Yes.
Okay. We'll wait for 5 minutes so that
Okay,
the
right.
participants can join.
Right.
The video on है क्या?
Good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Sai, please mute yourself. Mr. Sai, please mute yourself.
Sir? Hello?
Kshitija, start the program.
Yes, sir. Hardeep, sir,
Yes.
I request you to start with the lecture for today.
Okay, right. I hope I am audible to everybody. My screen is visible.
Yes, sir. Sir, can you please mute all the participants?
Kshitija, wait, I will, hello.
Yes, sir.
Can you, I will claim host, I will mute everyone and will make you the host again. Okay, then you take it forward.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So should I start now?
Yes, sir.
So good afternoon, everybody, all the participants. Today, firstly, I would like to pay my sincere thanks and regards to Skill State and the organizers of this event. I also pay my regards to Kaveri College, Pune to invite me as a speaker on this wonderful topic, professional ethics for research, innovation, and publication. We all know when we all pass out from our PG degree, we move towards our research degree. It may be MPhil, it may be PhD. Even nowadays, we have to do research projects or dissertation work in our PG classes like MTech, MCom Professional, MBA, MA Psychology, and many other degrees. Even some universities have introduced research work in graduation part also, like in BTech, in many universities, research work has been introduced in that degree also. When we talk about ethics or ethical life, we have to follow some rules and regulations, which we say ethics, manners, etiquettes in our daily life. It may be our family life or social life. We have to follow those rules and regulations. Talking little more ahead, there are also some rules and regulations that we need to follow at our workplace or job area. These ethics which we follow at our workplace, we call them as professional ethics or business ethics. We need these rules to be followed to live a smooth life and grow in our life. Next, moving forward, I have talked about the need of business ethics and social ethics in our family life and daily life. Similarly, there are some rules and regulations which we all need to follow during performing our research work in our PG degree, graduation degree, or it may be MPhil degree or our PhD degree and even PDF postdoctoral fellowship. These rules and regulations we call as professional research ethics. We will talk today about these ethics. These ethics are required so that our research work may be worthy, we may get credit of it, and lastly, very important to say that the society or the nation may get benefited from our research work. We may be able to give a solution to the existing problem of the society or our country. There may be no allegation on our research work if we will follow all the professional ethics for research, innovation, and publication. So, dear researchers, authors, academicians, we all need to have ethical obligations with regard to research, innovation, and dissemination of the results of research work. Researchers have a duty to make publicly available the result of their research on various subjects and are accountable for the completeness and accuracy of their research work. Now, moving ahead, what are ethics? Ethics are the norms of conduct that distinguish between acceptable and unacceptable behavior. Ethics tell us what is right and what is wrong, what is acceptable and what is unacceptable, what rules and regulations we should follow so that we may live a normal life, live a smooth life. It may be social life, it may be family life, or it may be our research work. Ethics tell us what are right and what are wrong. Honesty, fairness, responsibility, honor, value, integrity, these all are ethics. We may also say ethics are the principles and guidelines that help us to uphold things we value. Once again, letting you know, ethics means what is right and what is wrong, which way you should choose to do that work in a smooth way so that it may be valued. Next, moving, what is the research? We are talking about the research ethics. We should also know what is the research. Research is a combination of two words, re and search. Coming to the definition, research may be defined as the creation of new knowledge or the using of existing knowledge in a new and creative way so as to generate new concepts, new methodologies, and new understandings. This could include synthesis and analysis of previous research to the extent that it leads to new and outcomes. Then, what is innovation? Innovation is a spark of insight and that leads a researcher, a scientist, or an inventor to investigate an issue or phenomena. Research and innovation both play an essential role in triggering smart and sustainable growth and job creation. Now coming, we have talked about research and innovation. What is difference between research and innovation? Innovation is a totally new thing. Research is a systematic, hopefully, investigation of a problem that works to extend knowledge. It typically follows existing line of thought. For example, hypothesis-driven studies. And innovation is a jump from or an addition to a line of thinking. I mean, creating something new with an additional function. Innovation solves a specific problem and it can be utilized. Of course, innovation may be facilitated by research, and research is almost always needed to optimize an innovation. I have talked about ethics. Now, what are research ethics? Same thing. Ethics tells what is right, what is wrong, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable, and ethics are those rules and regulations which we should follow doing our research project, doing our research dissertation, or writing our research paper. These are those rules and regulations which we have to follow so that there may be no objection on our research work, on our dissertation or research proposal or our research paper. Research ethics involve the application of fundamental ethical principles to planning, conducting, and publishing of research. Now the point comes, why? Why do we need research ethics? What is the need of research ethics? First point comes, research ethics are required as a sign of respect for other researchers and cause no harm to the participants. Research ethics are required to give respect and take respect. If you will give respect to the other researcher, you will not copy his matter, you will not copy his research work, that person will also give respect to you. The first research ethics is required to give a respect to the other researchers who are also doing research and cause no harm to the other participants. Next is, it is a professional requirement. Being a professional researcher, a professional academician, this is your duty to be to follow the research ethics, that your work may be fair and successful and worthy, and it may work for the society and for the nation. Next point coming, it is a requirement to obtain funding. This is a very good point and very important point. Then when we write a proposal to any funding agency, there are a lot of funding agencies like University Grants Commission, All India Council for Technical Education, then Indian Council of Social Science Research. Like this, there are many agencies who give the funding to the researchers, to the academicians, to carry on the research projects and to carry on the research so as to find the solution for the existing problems in the society, so that we may do something better for our society and for our nation. So to get that funding, we have to make a proposal that how we will do that project, how we will conduct that research, what type of things we need, what type of facilities we need, what types of lab process we need. All that is included in it. For this, these funding agencies provide us a fund looking into the proposal, that what are your objectives, what are the need of the research, and how you will do that research. So in that funding, you have to use the that proposal, you have to use the research ethics. If you have not followed the research ethics, there are some problems in your proposal, there is plagiarism or there is some other problem, so your funding will be rejected, your proposal will be rejected and you will not get the funding. So research ethics are very much important. It is a requirement to obtain funding. So I have already told that if there is some problem, there is plagiarism or any other thing, your proposal gets rejected, your dissertation gets rejected, rejected, and even your research paper that gets rejected if you have not followed the research ethics. Failing to conduct research ethically result in research or researcher being dismissed or rejected by the research community. Next coming, basic principles of research, innovation and publication ethics. First point comes honesty. We all have been studying from our first class, honesty is the best policy. So honesty is very good thing, that you are true to yourself, true to your work, true for your objectives, and true for the that research work or research study that you are doing, that you are fair at every manner. Honesty is the basic principle of research and innovation. Next thing is objectivity. Objectivity is the key to success. Your research work or your research paper, that research proposal, that should have some objectives, and objective based, this is the main principle of this research and innovation. Next thing is integrity. I talked about honesty, and integrity is doing the right thing when no one is watching. That is again that you are honest to yourself whether anybody is watching you or not, there is any check mark on you or not. That is integrity, and integrity is also the basic principle of research and innovation. Then carefulness, openness, there should nothing be hidden, everything should be transparent in that research work or research proposal. Next coming, research respect for intellectual property. Basic principles of research also include respect for intellectual property. Then there should be confidentiality. Next, talking respect for colleagues. We should have respect for the fellow colleagues who are also working, who are also researching, who are also researchers. You should respect those people, respect the work of those people. We should not copy somebody's matter, somebody's ideas, somebody's there should be no copy paste. That we should respect the research work of the other people also. If you will respect the other people will also respect you. This respect for colleagues, for the other researchers, for the work of other research people is also the basic principle of research and innovation, and even the publication ethics. There should be no discrimination. And last thing is social responsibility. It is very much important and a very much good thing to note this thing, that your research work that you are doing, that should be that should give something, some solution to the society, existing problem of the society. It is our social responsibility. All these are the basic principles of research, innovation, and publication ethics. Then talking important areas in research and publication ethics. First is authorship. Like we write any research paper and we are doing any dissertation, any research work, we are writing a research paper, there may be one author, there may be multi authors. All the authors should be true authors. There should not be any fake author or sleeping author. We can say that we have put only the name of that person, but he is not working on that research area, on that research project, and he doesn't know about anything. That person should not be added in that research paper or search for paper proposal. Authorship is a very important area in research and publication ethics than plagiarism. Plagiarism is another important issue that we can say, that copying the matter from other person's research work or research dissertation. This is also a plagiarism is also a crime. This is an important area that we should note down, during our research work. Then peer review. Peer review is you can say it is done by a team of expert people. They are expert people. They make a team. When we send our research paper or that research proposal is sent to the funding agency, some experts, a committee of experts that view your proposal, look into the proposal, then people examine your proposal research paper, whether it is you have used the right tools, right ethics, everything is right. After that, doing that proposal is accepted or rejected on the according to the decisions of that peer review committee. And research with various subjects. And then misconduct. There should be no research misconduct in the research proposal or that research work or research dissertation. Now I will talk about this plagiarism. This is a very important part of our research work, research dissertation, and also of the research ethics. First thing is that people mispronounce this word. Some say it plagiarism, some say it plagiarism, but the actual pronunciation, that is plagiarism. What is the meaning of plagiarism? Plagiarism is the act of stealing someone else's work and attempting to pass it off as your own. That this is your own work. You copy some matter from other person's research work, or from Google, or from any other source. Plagiarism includes copying text ideas, images, or data from another source, even from your own publications, without giving credit to the original source. I have already told you, if plagiarism is detected during the peer review process, that proposal or that manuscript will be rejected. Then types of plagiarism. Complete plagiarism, then partial plagiarism, direct plagiarism, self-plagiarism, or we can say it auto-plagiarism, paraphrasing plagiarism, inaccurate authorship, accidental plagiarism, and source-based plagiarism. Coming to the first, what is complete plagiarism? Complete plagiarism is the most severe form of plagiarism where a researcher takes a manuscript or study that someone else has created or written and submits it under his or her name. It is equivalent to intellectual theft or stealing. Partial plagiarism. This is when a person takes work from a multiple amount of authors and just paraphrases the text from those authors without doing the actual research. Direct plagiarism. What is direct plagiarism? It is word for word transcription of a section of someone else's work without attribution and without quotation marks. The deliberate plagiarism of someone else's work is unethical, academically dishonest, and grounds for disciplinary actions, including expulsion. Coming to the fourth, self-plagiarism, we also say it auto-plagiarism. Auto-plagiarism and self-plagiarism is same thing. It is a type of plagiarism in which the writer or author republishes a work in its entirely or reuses portions of a previously written or published text while authoring a new work or new research paper. Paraphrasing plagiarism. It is a plagiarism if you don't properly credit the original author. Paraphrasing is if your text is too close to the original working, even if you cite the source. If you directly copy a sentence or phrase, you should quote it instead. Inaccurate plagiarism. It is also called inaccurate authorship. It can happen in two ways. In one form, when an individual contributes to a manuscript but doesn't get credit for it. And the second form is when an individual gets credit without contributing to the work. Accidental plagiarism. Accidental plagiarism is that you use that matter or use that data, but when you use that data, but you don't know that paper or that data or that research work has been used previously, that is accidental plagiarism. That when a writer fails to follow scholarly procedures and accidentally copies parts of work that has already been composed. Last is source-based plagiarism. This type of plagiarism refers to instances when misleading sources are involved. For example, the writer may have two sources of information, but only references one source. Another form of source-based plagiarism would be when an author quotes an non-existent or incorrect source. Next is data fabrication and falsification. Fabrication is makeup of data results. In scientific and academic research, data fabrication is the international mispresentation of research results. This includes manipulating images, removing outliers and inconvenient results, changing, adding or omitting data points, etc. For example, when old paper shows a bunch of experiments and figures, and the new paper from a different search group shows exactly the same measurements and figures. As with other forms of scientific misconduct, it is the intent to deceive that marks fabrication as unethical and thus different from scientists deceiving themselves. Data fabrication, incorrect collection strategies, and poor data management are considered detrimental to high quality scientific research work. Falsification is manipulating research materials, equipment, or processes, or changing data or results such that the research is not accurately represented in the research record. Data presented may be original and not inappropriately selected, manipulated, enhanced, or fabricated. This includes exclusion of data points to enhance significance of conclusions, fabrication of data, and selection of results that support a particular conclusion at the expense of contradictory data. Deliberate selection of analysis tools or methods to support a particular conclusion. Next coming, image manipulation. Image manipulation involves the transformation or alteration of an image or photograph using various methods and techniques to achieve desired results. Some photograph manipulation are considered to be skillful artwork, while others are considered to be unethical practices, especially when used to deceive the public. Image files must not be manipulated or adjusted in any way that could lead to misinterpretation. Adjusted in any way. Irregular manipulations includes introduction, enhancement, moving or removing features from the original image, grouping of images that should obviously be presented separately, modifying the contrast, brightness, or color balance to obscure, eliminate, or enhance some information. Next coming, avoiding the plagiarism. How can we avoid this? How can we get rid of this thing? The very simple method or very simple way is that always be honest. Give credit where it is due. Acknowledge the author of the original work you have used. Next is use your own work as often as possible. Do not copy anybody's matter. Do not copy anybody's ideas from the research paper or dissertation or from any online website. Using someone else's work excessively can be construed as plagiarism. It can lead to plagiarism. It can your project work, your research work, or your research proposal, it may be rejected due to this plagiarism or copy work. So the very simple and very easy way is that create your own work, generate your own own ideas, your own data, work on that, and there will be no problem, no ethical work, and your work will be fair and it will be accepted, and there will be no objection or allegation on your work. Then is quote or cite the source properly. The sources, the research paper or the other source from where you are taking help, you are taking the ideas, you should quote or cite that source. There are two types of styles are used mainly in research papers or the dissertations: MLA style and APA style. MLA is modern language association style, and APA is American Psychological Association style. These type of those two styles are mainly used in writing the research papers while referencing and even in the dissertations. Then I have already told you that plagiarism is a crime. Say no to plagiarism. Sometimes we may say that nobody knows that we have done. You should be honest. And nowadays, IT has developed very much. There are many tools and many applications who can detect your plagiarism. There are many online tools even to detect your plagiarism. Some of the plagiarism detectors are Grammarly, Unicheck, Viper, PlagScan, EasyBib, Quotest. You can even check your research paper or research work before submitting anywhere, that your paper do not have any copied matter and any copied idea. Your paper is a true work and there is no fake thing in it. And the mainly used that is used in many academic universities, colleges, and everywhere in the many publication houses, that is Turnitin, that can detect the plagiarism even very smartly and very actively, that let you know that which word or which sentence that you have copied, which it has been picked from which place. So your keep in mind, there should be no copy paste matter, no copied ideas. Your research work should be your own idea, your own work. Create your own idea and create your own work. Then lastly, what are the ethical guidelines in research, innovation, and publication? First thing is educate yourself. You should know everything about the ethics. What are do's and don'ts of the research? What are the guidelines that we should follow to write that research proposal, that research dissertation? Educate yourself. You should know everything. Then make a thorough research. Your research should be a thorough research. Learn the rules for citation and references. You should also know how to cite your paper, how to write the references, how to which style that research paper editor or your university or your college needs for that. You should know that it is APA style or that MLA style. You should know all the rules. Then check your work. Once you have done your research work, you have written your dissertation, your research proposal, you should check that work, that everything that you have written, it is okay. There is any mistake, you have written all the points like objectives, need of the use, research methodologies, research tools. Everything should be in manner and in a right way. Then cite your source. I already told you that all the sources should be cited. MLA style, APA style, two types of styles are used. You should cite your source. One thing more that is important: acknowledgement. You should also acknowledge the people, acknowledge the sources, and acknowledge the other things that have helped in your research work. Like you have taken the help of some organization, some research lab, or some other faculty member or any mentor. You should acknowledge that person or that source in your dissertation or that research work. Then include quotations. for example, you take some line like definition or anything from that book or any other dissertation, you should put it in commas, make quotation marks, include quotations, then it will not come under the plagiarism. Then present your own idea. I am once again repeating that if you present your own ideas, you generate your own ideas, there will be no unethical practice and there will be no chances of rejection. For presenting your own ideas, one thing more, you should be a thinker, a creative thinker, critical thinker. Thinking skills are very much required to do a good research work, a true research work that may be worthy and that may give some benefit to the nation or the population and give a solution to the existing problem. Then use plagiarism checker. I have already told you that there are many plagiarism checkers, plagiarism tools, applications available. There are many tools available online that are free of cost for use, that we can use to check the matter of our research paper or our research work, that our research work is okay, or the paper that we are going to submit, that is okay. There is not any problem in that paper. Then understand the value of citations. Citations should be there. You should know the value of citation. Citations are very much required, and double check your work. Once you have checked, then once again check that there may not be any problem in the research proposal or search work. Put all direct quotes in quotation marks, and when in doubt, give a citation. Lastly, coming to the conclusion, I have talked about these research ethics, innovation ethics, and publication ethics. All these are required. There are various forms of unethical practices that authors, researchers, inventors resort to, sometimes intentionally and occasionally by accident. Be aware of publication ethics. It helps the researchers, academicians, innovators, and authors to consciously avoid such misconduct and perform honest, ethical research and innovation and pursue publications. So, lastly, I would like to give my message to the researchers, research scholars, to the students of these PG classes, even graduation classes, while doing the research work, writing your dissertation, research project, you should keep in mind, you should follow these ethical practices. Your work should be a original work. It should be a true work. There should be no copied matter. You should be honest at your work. There should be integrity in your work. And please generate thinking skills in you, creative thinking, critical thinking, and innovative thinking that will take you to a new heights, and your work will be benefited. Your nation or your society will get benefited from the research work. You will give a solution to the existing problem, and you will be appreciated everywhere. So once again, I would like to tell you that please generate thinking skills in you, then you will be able to do a good research, and there will be no need to copy the matter or check other person's matter, or there will be no scope of plagiarism in your work. So lastly, now I would like to thank Skillslate and this Kaveri College Pune to invite me to give my talk on this wonderful topic. I once again thank all the participants to have patience and pay attention to my words. Thanks.
Thank you so much, sir. I'll request everyone to ask all their questions one by one so that sir can answer to all your queries. Please put your questions in the chat box. Sir,
Yes.
Amresh has a question. He says if the self-citation is good or bad.
Yes. Citation is a citation of our own work that we have already done in any research paper on any research proposal. If this your work that correlates with the work that you are doing, we can do it, but you should have to mention in your that references or citation marks. Self citation is good if your work that correlates with your existing work, but you will not have to copy everything. Copy paste is not allowed, but self citation is good if it correlates to your research work, existing work.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Sudarto, I would like to unmute you so that you can ask your question.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, I want. I have a question to Professor about research, publication, and innovation and ethics. The first question is how to measure breaking ethics in research or innovation and publication. The first question, and the second, is there a code of ethics which can we use to guide to guide as we can use ethics in three areas: publication, research, and innovation. Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you, Miss. That enough my question.
Yes, there is no cutoff for this ethics, research, innovation, or publication ethics. But the main ethics, these are honesty, your integrity, and no plagiarism, and true work, references, and citation. There is no cutoff for the breaking of this research ethics.
Okay, sir. We have one more
This
question.
one person
Is
has
there
asked that good online plagiarism checking tools. These tools I have already shown in this my slide. That is Grammarly, Unicheck, Viper, PlagScale. These are all the good online plagiarism tools. And if you can invest some money, do for the paid, then Turnitin is the best tool to check the plagiarism.
Okay. Is the Turnitin is one and only one, the best tools to check plagiarism.
Sir, can you please speak a little louder so that we can hear your question properly?
Ma'am, asked to put it in the chat box.
Okay, sir. Sir, can we take another question by the time?
Ma'am, there is
Hello?
one question. Is there any difference in accuracy of free and paid plagiarism detection software? Yes, there is a difference in accuracy of free and paid plagiarism detection software. The online softwares that are available online, there are some trial versions. You can use it for 1 month. After that, for 1 month, it will give you right results. After that, it will stop your use. Or if there are totally free some software, but there is always difference between accuracy of free and paid plagiarism softwares. Paid are much authentic. Free software we can use for some part of the you can say dissertation or some part of the research paper, you can check by that. But if you want to do your total research work or total dissertation to be checked with the plagiarism, you should go for paid plagiarism tools. You should not rely on these free plagiarism tools. That's how much plagiarism is allowed. I can say up to 10%. There are different criteria. Some accept 10%, some 15%, and some 20%. More than 20% is not accepted anywhere.
What is a simple way to do literature survey for the students?
Yes, literature survey, you go to Google or you go to your online library or your college library. You can look for the research papers that are with your research area, that are according to your research area. You can read out that papers, read the conclusions, everything, and make a summary of that research paper. You have to according to me, you want paper or to work on a research topic, you should at least go for 60-70 research papers, and then select the papers that are according to your search title or your search dissertation. Then read and read again, and pick out the ideas, conclusions, and the results of that paper. And I think that if you will read that 70 to 80 research papers, and you will be able to get 20 to 22 papers that will be totally beneficial for you, and you will get that the good ideas and good results, and that will be good for your search work. You have to read more and more research papers, latest research papers. Any more question, ma'am?
No, let's wait for 2 minutes. Let's see if anyone has any other questions.
Okay, right.
I request everyone to ask their questions if they have any. Any questions, participants?
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah. Your voice is breaking.
Actually, I am faculty in Human Studies Center, and my parent department is Sociology. And
Ma'am?
Your voice is
Ma'am,
breaking.
can you-
Please put it in the chat box. Your voice is breaking.
मैं ये सुन रही हूँ, ठीक है ना? खेस तो नहीं किया रे?
Okay, sir. I don't think we have any other questions left. Now I would like to request. Okay, there is one question that has come up. For PhD Scholar, apart from Google search, if we can't adequate reviews, how can we move forward to collect more reviews?
Ma'am, there are many other like Google Scholar or journal sites. You can go there, search the other search papers. Google is not only that you can search the matter over there for adequate reviews. You can go to some, there are some journals like Scopus and many other. You have to pay something, take membership, and you can get the search papers according to search area over there. That will be more authentic thing that that Scopus journal or ABDC journals. There are many UGC recommended good journals also like other science and many others. You can go to their site, take membership that are very nominal charges, and you can take the reviews from there also, or you can go for conference proceedings also. Good conference proceedings like IEEE conferences and Springer conferences. They have good conference paper books also. They are online available.
Okay, so thank you for all the information. Now I would like to ask Mr. Anand Buddhikot sir to give the vote of thanks.
Yes, madam. Yes.
Over to you, Anand sir.
Yes, madam. Am I audible? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I am Dr. Anand Buddhikot. I'm here to propose vote of thanks. I thank Ame Agarwal sir, founder Skillset Pune, for organizing this event in association with Kaveri College. As we know that a lot of research work and publication is happening globally. The topic research in innovation and mandates is very important for research scholars. So I thank Ame Agarwal sir for organizing such a wonderful event on a wonderful topic. Thank you, sir. I thank Principal Dr. Ashok Agarwal sir for guiding us for organizing this event with a great success. Thank you for your guidance and support, sir. I thank today's resource person, Professor Hardeep Singh, for conducting very informative session on research, innovation, and mandates, and also answering very important questions by the participants. Thank you, sir. I thank all staff members of SkillSets for their support. I thank all Kaveri Research and Innovative Cell members for supporting this event. Last but not the least, I thank all the participants for making this event a great success. So thank you all. Over to you, madam.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. It is our pleasure that we could conduct the session today. And the link for the certificate will be shared on the groups. Please do register for your certificate. Thank you once again for taking out the time, and sorry for all the inconvenience caused today due to the technical issues. I'm very thankful for everyone who are here today for the session. Thank you so much. We'll end the session here today. Yeah, it will be sent in the chat box, or I'll send it in the group. Thank you so much.